button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Cliff Maloney.
Appreciate you guys having me, as always.
Who are you? What do you do?
Sure. My name's Cliff Maloney. I mainly focus on door knocking for America First and libertarian-type Republicans. And this cycle, I've been tapped to run the ballot chasing effort in Pennsylvania, something we call the PA Chase. Got to match the Democrats at their own tactics, hire 120 folks, and try to run up the score and mail in ballots. Having a lot of fun doing it.
Not acting for party anymore, you're acting for self.
And I think the Democrats care about keeping power, period. Now, if that means Biden gets one term and they realize we can't keep power with this guy, we're going to move to somebody else, or if they think he's our best shot, they move in that direction. But these folks are serious. I mean, they said they were never going to impeach him. They impeached him. They said they were never going to charge him with a crime. They charged him with a crime. They said they'd never convict him. They convicted him. They said, oh, there's no way they're going to put him in prison. They're about to put him in prison.
Oh, yeah.
And I think each of those points, polling might tell me I'm wrong, but I think each of those have backfired on the Democrats and have helped him at each way along. Now, their base gets riled up. Don't get me wrong. But I think, look at how much money Trump's raised, right? I just think.
Was it 400?
Over like a week?
$400 million? Is that? But that includes big donors making PAC,
all in. Yeah. Bundled money. Yeah.
Still, there was a ton of money to collect there.
I think Trump said it was 400, right? Incoherent.
It's crazy.
Indeed. Yes.
So how'd you get involved with what you're doing? Were you inspired by Joe Biden's words, I assume?
Not quite. Ron Paul actually back in the day kind of woke me up a little bit as a math teacher. I said, you know what, this guy in the Fed, he's got something he's talking about. But I worked for Rand, and then after the 2016 race, jumped over to Trump and decided I wanted to start door knocking because I felt like that was the only place we could compete when it comes to money. And pretty much from 2016 through 2022, just been trying to elect America First, libertarian-type Republicans at the state level by using these door-knocking programs. All that changed in 22. Because in Pennsylvania, we were having races where we'd have trouble because of this Fetterman-Nas thing, down ticket, because nobody was focused on the mail-in ballots.
Right.
They hired 0 ballot chasers in Pennsylvania. Democrats hire about 100 every cycle. And so we just said enough's enough. Charlie Kirk, some people from Trump's team came to me and said, look, PA is your home state. You've already got a group there. Citizens Alliance of Pennsylvania, they said, can you take the ballot chase effort and just run it for the state? Bring all your door knockers into Pennsylvania, deploy there, knock 500,000 doors, target the Republicans who have requested, and that's the path. That's the biggest problem. He's got to win PA to win the White House. I believe that. I think the Senate race can be flipped. And to me, the one thing we need to do is be able to compete with them at what they do, which is knock on those doors and chase the ballots.
So how do you guys recruit door knockers?
So we have people right now on the ground for a lot of Freedom Caucus types. They're out there knocking. And so, we have different projects at different times. So we'll bring a lot of them in. But PAChase.com, people can apply. We've already had over 400 people apply. And it's not a fun job, right? I'm not like, I don't try to do the rainbow story about it. It's horrible. People are slamming their door in your face. But Democrats, they don't care. They just hire these people and you push through it, right? Because it's difficult. But it is one of the worst gigs in the world. We put them up in housing. We give them gas cards. These are patriots that want to do. They have to be ideologically aligned. If you're not ideologically aligned, no one would want to do this. Right now, the Democrats pay a little better so they can get some folks to just get out there. But that's the point: is you got to feel like you're part of it, and you got to push, to really want to be part of it. But yeah, 500,000 doors, and it's September 1 through Election Day, so about a little over 60 days, 50 days of the election in Pennsylvania. So it's absolutely insane.
Do you think that conservative people are likely to volunteer for these things, or do they think default, oh, the only way to support politicians I want to see elected is with my dollars?
No, I think you'd be surprised how many people, the conviction even itself, look, people look at the fundraising. You should see the interest we're getting. People are like, look, we want to get out there. A lot of people, they say, where do you find these guys at, right? And it's like guys and girls are either taking a gap year from college or they just graduated or they're working a job that's, not meaningful to them. And all of a sudden it's like, wait, I can go flip Pennsylvania, and try to win this thing. So it's interesting to find the motivations. But to me, the ideological folks, that has to be the part of it. But I think, I got to go out there and raise $3 million to pull this off, right? And we're doing it. We've raised over $1.5 million. But I do think it's about the party not adapting, the party not wanting to figure out what they need to do. And I think it's malfeasance. How do you not hire a ballot chaser when that's the number one reason you lost the last 4 years of election?
Have you received pushback? Or have you received significant help from the GOP?
So, yes, under Laura Trump, it's been much better. I will say that. Trump himself, in the last 2 months, has been coming out We're supporting the chase. You know, we're supporting all these ballot efforts in these certain states. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because when I got into this, you know, and I said this to the guys at Turning Point, I said, look, if we're going to do this, I said, I can't have us do all this work. And then Trump's like, do not vote by mail. He's been great. He's embraced it. This is why I have hope. In Pennsylvania, we lost by 80,000 votes. There's roughly 1 million Republicans that did not vote in 2020. But even more than that, we lost by 80,000 votes. In PA, 140,000 Republicans requested a ballot and let it sit on their dining room table. So it's really like, I don't want to say this is, you know, the thing, but it's the solution is there. Go bang on their door. And when Bob answers the door, you say, Bob, did you send in your ballot yet? Oh, no, I'll get to that. Every 24 hours, we get the data of who's voted. This is why the Democrats are ahead. So you go back in a week. Bob, your ballot's not in yet. How do I get you guys to stop coming? Go back in a week. Send your dang ballot in. Yeah. So the Democrats have mastered this idea.
Bring a pen with him. Bob, here, I got a pen for you.
They have mastered this idea of annoying the voter. And I hate to say it, but it works, right? You got to fight fire with fire. We can't just make the excuse of, oh, we want to vote on election day. Of course we want to vote on election day. Those aren't the rules. We have to adapt.
Don't the ballots come postage paid? Do you have to put a stamp on it?
I'm pretty sure they're prepaid.
And one of the big reasons we saw a lot of ballots that were only Biden was that this is exactly what you're describing. They say, okay, here, Biden, go, get out. They didn't know or care about anything else. They're just like, I did it, I signed it, have a nice day.
Well, and here's the thing that I think is fascinating. We care about our ballot. I would say some of us would give up blood to get in the way of the ability, that civic right to vote. Democrats aren't made that way. I hate to say this, right? But a lot of them, it's like, all right, listen, what do I get to do to get you to stop annoying me? Send the ballot in. You know, here's the ballot. They would trade so much where it's like a weird cultural thing. The last note on this, when you have 1.5 million people that have voted for Joe Biden in 2020 in PA by mail before the last 7-day window, talk about the resources you're spending. Now, all of a sudden, you're only targeting another million voters, where the GOP is still targeting 2.5 to 3 million. So you're spending twice as much on mail, twice as much on digital ads to target folks. And so the whole cultural thing, whether it was intentional by the Democrats or not, I think it was, but they realized that they could make these rule changes and the culture within their own party would benefit from it. That has to stop this cycle.
Where are we at? What do we have? Greg Duvier says, Tim, I've never voted in a primary election before. That ends tomorrow in North Dakota. I will be voting for Dr. Rick Becker. He's up against 3 rhinos and has been endorsed by Ron and Rand Paul, Vivek, Massey, and Gates. Woo!
All right, hold on. Who sent that in?
Greg Duvier.
No, that's somebody giving me a softball. It's got to be. Greg Duvier? I'm running Rick Becker's campaign. This guy's being nice. That's my big shout out to Rick. He's in North Dakota. If he wins that seat, he holds it for 20 years. He's the next Ron Paul guy. Great patriot. Started the Frederick Bastiat Caucus when he was in the State House. So he's a little bit of a nerd, but really good dude. And the establishment just spent about $2 million in the last 2 weeks trying to take him out. That's the game. By the way, anybody out there ever thinks, oh, I want to be a freedom fighter, I want to run for Congress. That's a number. If you don't have $2 million you can put in or you have a close network, do not run for Congress. I'd love for you to run for State House. That's where you can win. But
what does that investment get you? Like insider trading information that you can legally exploit?
I'm sure once you get there. No, but the truth is, listen, when you go to run, like the establishment, if you're really running a campaign as an anti-establishment candidate, they have money. They typically, their playbook is they'll put $2 million against you in the final, week to 2 weeks of the campaign. And you just can't compete. Everybody's worried about making dinner for their kids, right? These aren't like deep thinkers. I'm not calling the voters out, but when they spend $2 million in broadcast television and there's 10 mailers a day for 14 days in a row calling you a monster, it's tough to combat.
Really? So let me clarify. If you run for Congress, they will spend $2 million calling you a monster.
Correct.
They will basically run commercials with your face on it to the tune of $2 million.
Frankenstein
Ain't no
level.
such thing as bad press. So if someone were to run for Congress simply to just get their name out there, they're going to get a free $2 million ad buy with their name on it.
If they're competitive, yes, they will come after them with everything they have.
Ooh. No wonder people go into politics.
I don't recommend it.
I wouldn't.